students, today our lesson is on AS Mechanics, Chapter 4. In Chapter 4, we are doing dynamics of particle moving on a straight line. As we know, students should be able to identify the force diagram. That is the beginning of dynamics. All the forces should be resolved on a particle. For example, there is a force applied to the particle and there is a friction, there is a weight as the normal reaction. In dynamics, we were mainly based on Newton's second law of motion. In the Newton's second law of motion, it is very important the constant acceleration. Any particle moving with a constant acceleration, we are able to apply Newton's second law. The force we calculate is equal to mass into constant acceleration. The particle has a mass, it moves with certain acceleration. In this example, the mass is 2 kg and 2 meter per second acceleration. The force we calculate is equal to mass into acceleration. Students should try to understand, as long as the constant acceleration is not here, the second law of motion is not applicable. The second law of mass is applicable only when there is the acceleration is there. But if we are having a constant velocity, that shows the acceleration is 0. In a constant velocity, the acceleration is 0, therefore we can't apply second law of motion. Let me do some examples. Suppose this 2 kg particle moving with a constant acceleration of 2 meter per second square. We have to specify the direction in which the particle is moving. From this arrow we know the particle is moving towards right. Therefore, we showed the right arrow here, x minus 4. X minus 4 in the sense, if the particle is moving towards right, the x force is greater than 4 Newton. Therefore, we have to say x minus 4 and then mass into acceleration 2 and the acceleration is 2. Although this particle doesn't move upward, still we can specify the arrow, it moves up y minus 2g. That means the y is the normal reaction of the particle and 2 is the mass, g is the gravitational acceleration. So 2g generate a force, that force is y minus 2g equal to, here we say the acceleration is 0. Here you can see the acceleration is 0 although the mass is 2. Because it doesn't move upward, but still Newton's second law applicable with acceleration is 0, therefore we identify the magnitude of y is 19.6. For the second diagram, also you can apply, the particle is moving towards left, therefore we arrow the arrow to the left. Therefore 80 is greater than x, 80 minus x, 4 is the mass into acceleration. Here we can determine the value of x. The same thing we can apply here also vertically upward. Although it's not moving, we put the acceleration is 0. Okay. These constant acceleration and the force can be specified in vector forces. Vector scale means it has two dimensions. One dimension is the horizontal and the vertical. The horizontal is specified with I and the vertical is specified with J. You can see the magnitude of the acceleration is 6I16J, can be specified within the Pythagoras theorem, and we can apply the Pythagoras rule to find the magnitude of these two horizontal and vertical vectors. We call it I and J. Once this I and J, the magnitude of the acceleration can be done through Pythagoras rule, and we have got the acceleration magnitude is equal to 17.1. The major advantage of this, we can have the direction of the acceleration. Even the force or the constant acceleration, we are able to find in which direction the motion is happening. So that also can be calculated tan theta and 16 upon 6, and then you can calculate the bearing. Let me now explain about what is this equilibrium status. All this time I was talking about Newton's second law of motion. Now I wanted to specify something about Newton's first law of motion. In the first law of motion, Newton always says it is in equilibrium status. Equilibrium status in the sense that although the particle is affected with many forces, but it is not in motion. Because of it's not in motion, still we can apply the first law of motion. The force P equal to 30N. Because it doesn't move, no acceleration. Therefore, we can say P is equal to 30N, 10 is equal to 10. But one thing you have to remember, although the particle is moving with a constant velocity, if it is constant velocity, there is no acceleration. What is acceleration? The velocities change. The changes of velocity, we call it an acceleration. If the constant velocity is there, the acceleration is 0, we can't apply the second law, we have to apply the first law. In the first law, nothing is moving, but the right side forces are equal to left side. The downward forces are equal to upward force. Let's go for example. Here this is a very good example. There are three forces, but we are in vector scale. We can find I 2I plus 4j, another force 5I plus 4j, another force 6I plus 4j. When we add all these forces, we will specify what is the I and the j. Here we can say 3I and 3j is the resultant force. This force is not the magnitude. We have to find the magnitude. Earlier I told you this is the horizontal and vertical. We can apply the Pythagoras rule to find the magnitude of the force. As per Newton's second law, this resultant force is equal to the 3 is the mass into acceleration. We have to find the acceleration. Therefore, once you simplify, you will get the acceleration also in I and j. But the best advantage, if you get in terms of I and j, this is horizontal and vertical, you will be able to find the direction of the acceleration. From the Vt graph, earlier we know this, S is equal to half ut plus at squared. Here what we can do, the vector forces also, vector scale can be specified, upper and lower, upper and lower. We can adapt these 3, 2 and minus 1 as a upper, that is horizontal. Minus 1, minus 5, 0, we can adapt and come to minus 6. That's as a vertical. These two vector forces also can be considered. Force into mass acceleration, this result, this 4 minus 6 as the total force, and the mass of the, in this sum, mass of the particle is 8. So we can apply 8 here, and the acceleration, we can find the acceleration in terms of I and j. 4 upon 8I, 6 upon 8j. The 8 is, we are dividing the mass in both vertical and horizontal. Therefore, we can find the magnitude of the A is square root of 0.8. Time also can be calculated using the same application of this formula. Time is equal to 6.6 because we know the acceleration, we know the distance. Distance is 20 meter. It travel, time taken for the particle to travel a distance of 20 meters. Okay students, from today's slide, what we understand, the force diagram, you should be able to draw a force diagram, and we distinguish between the first, Newton's first law and the Newton's second law. Keep in mind, Newton's second law only applicable when the acceleration is constant. When the particle doesn't move, you can apply the first law also when the velocity is constant. Yes students, now we can apply S equal of ut plus at squared formula to find the calculation of time, because we know the acceleration and we know the distance is 20 meters. Now this is the end of session 1, chapter 4. So I will brief what we have done today. We introduce a force diagram. The students should know how to sketch a force diagram and identify whether the student should know whether to use the first, Newton's first law of motion, or only the first law of motion you apply only in the equilibrium state. When the equilibrium state only, the first law is applicable. In the second, Newton's second law, when it is moving with a constant acceleration. When it is moving with a constant velocity, the acceleration is 0. Then again you can go back to Newton's first law. Okay, thank you students. Stay safe. Okay, God bless you.